story time. Now, I will be doing a voiceover over an old video that I did a story time on. So, bear with me. And this story time is inspired by a movie I saw. And I'm always putting my spin on it, adding, taking away, kind of making it mine, what I got from it. And the voiceover will be ASMR, soft-spoken. So, I hope you enjoy story time. Relax. Okay, we're going to talk about the characters. 3 main characters. Derek. Derek is a pilot. Kathy is a stewardess. And Carol is a stay-at-home wife and mother. Okay, again, I'm doing a voiceover over an old story time that I did, just in case you see the mouth movements not matching. All right, so this movie, I'm gonna call it My Best Friend's Husband. And I actually saw 3 different movies, kind of related, the same theme, I'll say. But we're gonna get into this. So Kathy and Derek work together. Carol is Derek's wife and the mother of his children. And actually, their children are grown and, on their own. But, they are a close family that do family functions together. So they come home, spend weekends, family functions, holidays. They still do things together. Now, again, Derek is a pilot. So, he travels a lot. And in the midst of his traveling, he meets Kathy. And you may know where this is going, but I'm going to keep going. So Derek meets Kathy in between the traveling. She is a stewardess, so she travels a lot as well. And somehow she was a stewardess on the plane a couple of times. So they talked, got to know each other, and they started dating. Now Derek still loved his wife, still went home, family functions, took care of home, still was being a husband and a father. But he also cared for Kathy. He wanted to take Kathy on a trip, just them, get away for the weekend, like maybe to the Bahamas, somewhere where there's water, right? He loved to swim. Oh, mind you, his wife, Kathy, is a swim instructor too, right? Part-time. So this was one of their family activities, that they did. They loved the water. And Derek was trying to introduce Kathy, to the water. But Kathy had experienced a trauma with the water, so she was afraid of the water. Now she cared about Derek, so Kathy wanted to surprise Derek, and she researched swim lessons. And she found Carol class, and she took some classes. She shared with Carol her trauma with the water. Her brother drowned in the water, and she was afraid to help him, I'll say. So she'd been carrying that guilt on her. But Carol, talked to her and, try to make her understand that you were a child, that was not your fault. So she took the classes and they became friends. It was something about them that it was kind of like how opposites attract. Carol was pretty much a homebody, stay at home. Kathy was outgoing. She traveled. She knew a lot of people. She met a lot of people. She was actually living. Not that Carol wasn't, but Carol was kind of like in a circle with her family. She did the classes instructor, but it was still different. She was still like in a shell, I'll say. So she was really intrigued with Kathy's life. And the classes went on, and Derek and Kathy still saw each other. Kathy did not share that she was taking the classes until she felt comfortable enough to say yes, she would go on the trip. Okay, so that time came, and Kathy and Derek went on a trip. And again, it was the Bahamas. And they had a nice weekend together. I'm not saying it's right because he's married, but this is what happened. So Kathy gets back and tell Carol all about her weekend, how it went, that she got in the water and they had a great time. But Kathy knew Derek, she called him D. And Carol called her husband Derek. So they pretty much didn't put the two together. So again, Carol and Kathy had become good friends. So Carol invites Kathy over for dinner, and this was a family function at this time. So when Carol goes to introduce Kathy to her husband, their faces, pretty much, if Carol was looking for something, she would have saw it, because their faces was guilt. And Kathy actually felt really, really bad because this was her friend. This was her friend husband. And honestly, Kathy knew that he was married, but not in the beginning. But she still went with it now. So Derek and Kathy acted like they didn't know each other. Hey, how you doing? Good to meet you. Okay, went through the dinner and everything. And of course, their conversations was short. So at the end of the night, Carol asked her husband, so what do you think of Kathy? I didn't get a chance to talk to her much, but from what I see, she seems okay. So the very next day, Kathy calls Derek and she ends it. I can't do this. I know I can't do this. So she cuts it off. And going forward, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Kathy and Carol were still friends. They would kind of do shopping. Kathy, like, helped Carol change kind of like her wardrobe to bring maybe a different personality because she was really intrigued with Kathy's lifestyle. So again, they remain friends. Kathy never told Carol about the affair or anything. So they still traveled, and sometime Kathy was a stewardess on the plane with Derek, but Kathy was done with the relationship. And unfortunately, one day, Carol gets a call that there was a plane accident and her husband, Derek, was unalive. So, of course, Carol was devastated. Kathy was too. And Kathy was devastated because she had found out she was pregnant. She's pregnant by Derek, and she had to carry this alone. Now, Carol went to Derek's to clean out his personal belongings, and she finds a picture. Yes, a picture of of Kathy and Derek in the Bahamas. So this was a recent picture. Oh, she was, like, felt so betrayed. So she goes to see Kathy to confront her, and she just shows her the picture. And Kathy was so apologetic. She was like, I cut it off as soon as I found out it was you. That didn't help Carol. She was like, so it's okay as long as you don't know the wife? No, I told you and I shared so much with you. I invited you to my home and I thought we were friends. And she was like, I am your friend. That is why I cut it off, and that's why I didn't tell you. I did not want to hurt you. So Carol, of course, she didn't want to be friends no more. She went on and, with her life, grieving for her husband. And at this time that she was grieving, she was missing her friend. She needed somebody to talk to. She was kind of, I guess, dependent on Kathy and didn't know it, but she wanted to talk to Kathy about what she was going through. Somehow, Carol got sick and went to the doctor for a checkup or something. And she seen Kathy there. At this time, Kathy was showing. And they just looked at each other. Because in Carol's mind, she was thinking and wondering, is this her husband, baby? So Kathy just looked at her and said, yes, this is the child. And she apologized again for, being with her husband. And she was like, I kept it. She said, because this may be my last chance, to have a child. So I'm going to keep it. So Carol, she wasn't mad at that time. Maybe because she was missing Kathy. But she asked her, can we sit down and, chat? So they planned a lunch date and they talked. And after the conversation, they tried to work on their friendship. They was successful at it. Actually, Carol was there when Kathy gave birth, and there was a boy. They gave the boy, Kathy gave the boy Derek his middle name, and Carol approved. And she wanted Kathy to bring the baby over, and so her children can meet their sibling. It was a hard conversation because her kids didn't understand why she would remain friends with this lady. And she explained it to her kids, that it was something about Kathy that made her life meaningful, if that makes sense. Because it was like Carol was living in a bubble for other people. I got to take care of this person. I got to take care of that person. But what about me? And Kathy's out there living her life for herself. And it brought some interest. So it was like she helped me live, if that makes sense. And over time, the kids was okay with their relationship. They continued their relationship and became the best of friends. Now, quick question for you. Do you think this could happen to you? Do you think if you found out your friend, could you be their friend? If your friend did something like this to you in this situation where she didn't know you before it happened, I would say I probably could over time, because in the beginning we were not friends. And again, I wouldn't be married to the friend. I was married to my husband. So I would put the blame on my husband. Even though, she couldn't yell or scream at her husband because he was gone. But it's just a question. Life hits differently. And I love to do like story times on certain movies or shows that I see, because I kind of analyze things a little different than maybe a lot of people. And I also try to be a realist. Things happen. You may not want it to happen to you, but things do happen. It's how you deal with certain situations. Put the owners where it belongs. We have to remember that. We also have to remember, try not to make decisions off emotions, because our emotions change really quick. Some faster than others, but yeah, just like Carol realized she was missing her friend. She needed to talk to her friend. She had to forgive her friend. it's a different when you got a true friend. I mean, a true friend. They make mistakes. We're human. We all make mistakes, even her spouse. Now, what I didn't say was Carol and Kathy did talk when they found out. Carol was trying to find out what was the interest her husband found in Kathy because they were so different. And it was because Kathy was outgoing. Kathy said how she felt. Carol was like, I'm being a good wife. I'm going to be a good mother. So whatever my husband wants, I'm going to do and try to make him happy. The same with the kids. And Derek knew what he had at home, but Kathy's personality piqued his interest. They were different, totally different. And Carol was like, I can understand that because that was the attraction for her with Kathy. Not physically, but it made them become friends because it was like this lady is doing something totally different. Opposites attract. And that do happen. Again, it don't have to be physical. But you can find your friend, a good friend, doing things you don't do. It keep it interesting, I'll say, to make it make sense. It keeps it interesting. And if you get nothing out of this, just keep in mind that no one is an exception. Anything can happen to anybody at any time. Anytime. Now, I am coming to an end of this story time. Soft-spoken story time. I hope you enjoy it. I would appreciate, give me some feedback. I'm trying to get back into my story times, my show and tells, and my shopping videos, the longer versions. So yeah, give me your input. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a story time you would want me to do, or a store you want me to go shopping at, or something related to show and tell. I do have another show and tell coming up, but I hope you enjoy this.